There we go. All right, it is now officially it's the 21st of February, 2023. My name is Virginia Dahl. This is Virginia's Creative Stamping Corner. Welcome to all those who are here watching this live uh, event, and also for welcome to those people who come back to the replay because of previous obligations. I so appreciate your patronage, so to speak, your support. Please remember to leave me a comment. And I do go back and reread those comments, so I have the option of, responding to you. I can't respond to too many, because if I do, then I have a major problem with getting locked in Facebook jail, and that means I can't do uh, my online Facebooks for a while. So there we go. All right, for some reason my closed captioning keeps going out. So here we go. All right, yes, welcome. This is Virginia's Creative Stamping Corner. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about some very important things that we've got going on. We are only 1 week away from the end of Sale-a-bration. So I think that's kind of important. Remember, our mini catalog lasts until, it says April 2023, but May 1st is the absolutely last day for items in this mini catalog, unless they sell out. Now, a lot of things are these days, they don't, they're around for a little while and people buy them up and they're gone, and you need to hop right on it if you see something that you really, really like. So the mini catalog is ongoing. Our annual catalog lasts until the end of April. I guess maybe May 1st. There's that information there. Sale-a-bration, I'm going to pull this brochure in for you just a minute. This ends the 28th of February, okay, Mountain Time, midnight Mountain Time. And this is, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's exactly it. That is the date. These are items, if you're not familiar with Sale-a-bration, these are items that are for every $50 order or $100 order or combination thereof. There are items in this brochure that are available for those amounts. They're free. There's some paper. There are stamp sets. There are big packages of paper. Okay, more and more stamp sets. And of course, I love our brochures and catalogs because we always have plenty of ideas provided with our products so that you can see how you can use them and how useful they are. All right, and there is a host set. I believe you have to spend $300 in order to be able to get that host set. Okay, and of course you have the option during Sale-a-bration to join the Stamping Up community, and there are several options available to you. The first one is you can get this exclusive boho blue mini, and by the way, that's one of our new in colors coming out in May. That machine is a $63 value. You can choose $175 of Stamping Up products, and you get this machine, and that's only $129. Then you can get the original white mini machine, which is just like this, only it's white. And again, a $63 value. You choose $175 worth of Stamping Up products, and then you get this, and it costs you $129. Okay, and there's no shipping and handling involved in that. And the third option is to choose $175 worth of Stamping Up products for only $99. So keeping all that in mind, that's Sale-a-bration, and there's only a week left of that. Now, in addition to the items in this brochure, there are also items that are in a flyer that we have. These are 10 more items that were added at the beginning of February, and there are two card kits here, some ribbon, 2 embossing folders, 2 punches, a decorative masks set. There is a set of 12 by 12 designer series paper, and for a $100 order or $100 purchase, this stamp set, Eden's Garden, and then it's a bundle with the dies that go with it. So those are only available until the 28th of February. All right, so all that information there. Okay, today the stamp set and actually a whole suite of products that we're focusing on is in our mini catalog. It is on pages 30 and 31, and then of course page 32 there and 33 there are more pictures of the stamp sets and the punches that are involved in this suite of products. Okay. All right, so this suite is called the Regency Park Suite, and this has, well, as I said, 2 stamp sets and dies. Well, no, 2 stamp sets, one with dies and one with a punch. Here is the punch. Okay, you can see that. It's called the Petal Park Punch Builder. Petal Park Builder. Okay. And this is the Petal Park stamp set. It is a photopolymer stamp set. Okay, and then the second stamp set is called Sentimental Park. I love this one because of the sayings and the sentiments and the little flowers that are on there as well, the images. And there is a die set that goes with that, which is absolutely phenomenal. I love anything that has labels or tags on it, because that makes it so much easier for me to make it look stylish. My cards look stylish and nice with some very nice, layers and so forth on my cards. So I really do like this one. There is an embossing folder. It's called the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder, and you'll see that I've used that on one of the cards. Let's see, what else? There is the adhesive backed Milky Dots. All right. And then there is a ribbon that is absolutely to die for. It's a navy bordered ribbon. Okay, not translucent, but it's a little bit see-through in the center. Okay, but that is a navy ribbon to go with the Regency Park. And the funnest part, if that could be a word, is the designer series paper, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. There were 2 designer series. One is a specialty paper. I did not purchase it. It's a shimmer paper. It's a textured shimmer paper. I did not purchase it, but I did go ahead and purchase the paper here, the Regency Park 6 by 6 designer series paper. I wanted to pull all that out. Here we go. And the colors in that, it's called Regency Park 6 by 6. The colors in this are Balmy Blue, Mango Melody, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Shaded Spruce, and Sweet Sorbet. Look at those gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Keep going with this. I think we got a lot of navy. All right, and there are in this one, let's see how many pieces. There are 48 pieces, so there are at least 4 of each sheet. So it's, and they're double-sided, of course. So there are the colors. And I'm going to flip this over here, and then you can see on the other side. Okay, there we go. Arrange that a little bit better so you can see everything. Okay, so these are this is definitely the floral side, and this is the other side that's not quite so floral. Some of this is, but beautiful, beautiful paper. Okay, so that's also part of the suite. Okay, now let's go ahead and look and let's see what it is that we're going to make tonight. This is the, okay, this is the card with deepest sympathy. There was a challenge card. I had to make it with a kind of an over-the-top card. So I thought, well, okay, I'll do an over-the-top card for demonstration. Normally I don't do that, but it's not that difficult and over-the-top because of the embossing, because of the extra embellishments, because of the fact that we did the two different layers on the tag, and the ribbon, and so forth, and then on the inside that's a piece of the designer series paper. Okay, so there we go. And of course there's that the envelope. All right, so let's see what we need to have today. I'll pull out all my little pieces here. Okay, so we have our regular basic white envelope, which we will need to stamp in a couple minutes. We have a piece of the white crinkle ribbon, and you've seen me use this before. I am going to color it for you so that you can see how to make the colors of the cardstock. I'll tell you in a couple minutes. We do not have a blend, a Stampin' Blend that is Pear Pizzazz. So what I had to do was use my my old olive to make this. Okay. All right. So there's that. We're going to color that. So it'll take just a couple minutes. Here's a piece. You'll need a strip. That's about a 1/2 inch strip. That is 5 1/4 inches. I'm pretty sure that's right. Let me make sure. Oh, actually, I have it 6 inches, so I'll probably be cutting that off a little bit once I put it on the inside of the card. We are putting it on the edge right here, so that's 4 1/4 right there. So yeah, we'll definitely be cutting some of that off. So there's a piece of that designer series paper. Here is the tag, okay, or the punch, one of them. Not punch. One, and this is one of the, and this is the neatest part. You tuck your I will put a little adhesive on it, but you tuck your tag into, or your label into the piece right here, and then you tuck it in on this edge as well, and it looks so neat. You know, like you've double layered it. So here we go, and we'll get that in there. And I'm going to struggle with it because I'm on camera, of course. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck that together so I don't have to go through this again. All right, it's really not that difficult to do. I'm just being fumble-fingered today. Okay, hold on. There, see? It slips right in. I'm just being a bit there, okay? So that fits beautifully right there. Okay, and then this is a piece of basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is that cane weave 3D embossing folder. It's already been embossed. And here is a piece of the Pear Pizzazz, which is Pear Pizzazz, which is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. All right. And then our card base, which is the thick basic white, and this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. All right. And let's see. There's one more stamp set that I did use. I used the Peaceful Moments stamp set. This is in our annual catalog. It's been with us for a while and is really one of my very favorite sentiment stamp sets. And we used the With Deepest Sympathy from that. Okay. So there is all that. So let's do that little bit of stamping that we need to do. And, you know, I keep looking at this, and I know that my sentiment is a little on the crooked side, but there's always got to be something on my card that is going to not necessarily be exactly perfect. So I'm okay with that. As a matter of fact, you know, no matter how hard I try, it's just not going to happen that I'll be able to make it exactly perfect. All right, I'm pulling this over here just a second so that I can have something that I can stamp off on. And let me move this just a minute. I'm going to use my Petal Pink ink pads and these two stamps here. And as I said, it was photopolymer. All right, here's the Petal Pink. I'm going to use my outline stamp first, and I'm going to use that full strength. All right, and since this is, okay, I'm going to put a little cushioning underneath of it. Usually you can use your paper pierce mat, but this silicone mat will help me get that clear, crisp image that I want. I'm going to turn my stamp like that. Give it a second. All right, and that's nice and bold there. Okay. Now I'm going to take this stamp, and they should match up, so I should be able to put this just exactly right on top of that. Now this is such a light color that if I were to stamp this off, okay, that's what you'd get, but then I am not sure how vivid your colors would be on this. I'm going to try it. All right, and then I matched as best I could. Oh, there we go. That worked beautifully. So I did stamp off. All right, I couldn't remember what I did. I made this card a couple weeks ago. Oh well. Anyway, so that was Petal Pink, and this is the envelope. That turned out very nicely, almost like I colored it all in by hand. Okay, so there's our envelope. Now, the next thing we're going to do, and I'm going to leave my mat underneath here so I can do this, is we're going to take this ribbon and we're going to use the blend on it, and I'm going to use the narrow end, or the pen end, and I'm pulling it, oh gosh, pulling it over to the side so I can use it. And I'm going to have to go get one of my other ones because this is giving me a fit here. Okay, it's stuck. Sorry. All right, I'll be there back in just a second. I'm sorry, I didn't anticipate a snafu there. I'm very sorry for leaving here. Okay, here we go. I don't usually do that. I usually have everything in order here. I want to get this as close as I can to this color, this color here, because we don't have that. So I'm going to just do a little bit of it to see. Okay. Using the edge of my, this is my light. Okay, that's my light. Okay, and I won't need to do too much because this is going to go right straight through the ribbon because the ribbon is very thin. I think I'm doing pretty good with that. That's pretty close. So this is my light old olive, and I can go over this several times if I need to, but I'm just using the brush tip of my blends, and I'm going to hold this down here to get that very edge. Okay, all right, so that looks pretty good, I think. And I'm not going to need all of this. Some of this is going to get tucked behind the card. All right, so I just turned my cap over and just used that on top of it just to keep it down. So there we go. So that is my light old olive blend. Okay, and that gives me close enough to that green color there to really, yeah, really can't see a difference. So, excellent. Okay, so let's go ahead. And we know we're going to need to put this on before we go too much further. To make this ribbon a little softer, I use an old dryer sheet. And this one actually was in a short load of laundry that was in the dryer. But you can take that and it softens the ribbon up. There might be a little bit of the ink that comes off on the dryer sheet, but not to worry about. It's not going to come off, but this does soften it up, especially if you're going to use the ribbon and you're going to try to tie it later. This won't be the issue here tonight because we're not going to tie it. We're just going to put this across the center of our paper, right like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, flip it over, make sure I have it on the side that I want. The ribbon is on the side that I want to face up. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool and my glue dots, which help me an awful lot. Okay, here we go. Okay. And I'm going to glue this down. You can use a little adhesive if you'd like, but I just think for me, it's a little bit more convenient to use a glue dot. So you can use whatever adhesive you want. I'm going to pull this and just make sure that's straight. And because I have lines here, I can see that pretty good. I'm going to put that right there and then just pull it on over. And that should... Okay, no, it didn't stay. Okay, I'll put that right there. There, now it's going to stay. Okay. All right, a few little snafus here. Okay, so there is our ribbon in the center of our card. Then the next thing we're going to do, because we're building our layer, we're going to take the piece that we did here. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals, and I'm going to slip just a tiny little bit of glue back here. Or maybe, no, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my glue dots again, glue dots to the rescue, because I want to make sure that that stays down and doesn't move around. So I'm just going to tuck it in right there. And then I'm going to tuck in the opposite corner. Okay, I hope you can see this. And just tuck it back behind that. Okay, and there we go. And that's not going to be slipping or sliding around. Excellent. Okay, so let's get our dimensionals. And I'm using the regular size dimensionals. And I'm going to put pretty much to kind of hide them, but to kind of keep them. That also keeps those two pieces together as well when you put a dimensional there. And I'm going to put them on the outside edge. I am not going to put one in the center because that's where we have our ribbon. All right. Okay, here we go. Now, even though this looks like a really difficult card, it is not. And it just really looks very elegant, I think. So here I am going to try to line everything up with my grid paper. And yes, my sentiment is a little crooked, and then I'm going to just kind of look at this to see, oops, I see that there's a little piece here that didn't get popped out from my die. So I can just do that before I put that down. All right, everything else looks like it's done. So, top and bottom, sides, trying to look at all that. Okay, and there we go with Deepest Sympathy. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to add my adhesive of choice, which is my multi-purpose glue. And this is a brand new bottle, so it's going to be really coming out. So I'm going to have to be very gentle. But I want to use a pretty good adhesive so that I can make sure that this stays put. And I'm putting it over top of the glue. Make sure that stays. Alright, now I'm going to put this here, and usually I have I have my paper here in case I get kind of wacky with the glue and the glue starts going all over the place. This has a very thin border on it, so I'm going to do that as best I can, turning it sideways. That way I'm going to get this as close as I can to being perfectly lined up. Okay. All right, and here is our card base. So I'm going to use that as well. And again, using my glue, I did pop up the sentiment, and that's really all I want to do. And then I'm going to add we're going to add embellishments to this. But we're also going to put that little piece on the inside. Now here, again, a very thin border all the way around. I'm really liking, the several layers with the very thin borders. I think it makes it look very nice. And of course that could wiggle around a little bit, but that's okay. You have a few minutes of time to move it around. All right. That looks very good. Okay, now I'm going to take this piece, and I believe I left a smidgen of a border on the outside here, so I'm going to try to do that again. And I don't know if you recognize that, but that's like the caning on a chair, like the embossing folder. And I thought that was really cool to try to match those two together. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see approximately where, and I went from top to bottom on that. I didn't leave a border on, I just left a slight border on the side. Okay, so let's do that. I don't want to put too much glue on here. Okay, there we go. A little bit of a border. Okay, there we go. I have my scissors with me, my snips. All I have to do is, okay, I think I got, move that just a little bit. It didn't quite dry. All right, now I'm going to snip that off. Okay, very good. And I see my sister Karen. Hi, Karen. And let's see. Let me scroll up here just a minute and see who we've got. Okay. Hi, Karen. And Kathy, I guess you're on. Glad you could both be here. Thank you for watching. Okay, this is really a super simple card. And again, I apologize for that being a little bit wonky, but that's okay with Deepest Sympathy. Okay, and then that's on the inside of the card. Let's put our adhesive backed milky dots on there. All right, and there are this 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. The color right here is more of a purplish color or pinkish color, and I believe that was the one that I tried using on this. And I usually tend to go with 3 items, or 3, let's see, yeah, to make kind of a triangle. So I'm going to use this and like a dot right in the middle of one of those flowers, kind of like the center of the flower, and pull this little one up and do that right here. And I hope you can see where they're going. And then one right down. Well, I did one further down, but I'm going to put one right down there. One right there. Okay. And those are the adhesive backed milky dots. So those are part of the suite. And the colors that I used are Pear Pizzazz and Petal Pink and Basic White. Okay, and there is our card. Super, super simple, but really elegant looking, I think, anyway, in my opinion. All right, so let's move some things out of the way. I did some cards with this in mind, and I wanted to show that to you. It's very easy to use, and it does not cut out. I thought initially that it cut out some of the designer series paper, because some of the designer series paper is very similar, but not quite exactly that. And I tried fitting it all around, and I couldn't get it to work. And of course, then we've got the much smaller pattern there, but here's that other pattern, and it doesn't cut out the designer series paper. However, you can stamp your own and cut it out this way. I typically, when I'm stamping, I will stamp on strips so that it's easier and I waste less paper by just stamping on a strip that's wide enough for the flower, and just push it into the side and then punch out my stamp. Okay, so that's what I typically do with that. And I typically, when I punch it upside down, unless it's one of those that's a corner rounder punch or something, a border punch that's leaving a nice edge on my card. I typically turn it upside down. Those are the only times I don't, when I have a border punch, or when I'm trying to just punch one thing at a time, or a corner rounder, okay? Round a corner. All right, here's the first one I really made, and it's another sympathy card. It's a bookbinding card, and you've seen me do these before. I really do enjoy these bookbinding cards. They're so much fun. And this is, oh, I forgot to mention, this is the ribbon that comes with a different suite of products. It's a beautiful kind of velvet-like ribbon. And I just used a little piece of twine there because I thought it needed a little something to sort of, I don't know, make it a little bit more homey or whatever. But here's the card itself, the bookbinding. And these were actual ones that I fussy cut out. I did. I fussy cut these out. So these are designer series paper. This is designer series paper. And this is the piece of designer series paper on the envelope flap. Okay. And then finally, here's the option that I wanted to show you, where you literally, this is how you do that. I colored in those. I stamped them, I colored them in, and then I'd cut them out. And I used the background piece here, this large piece here. This is all one stamp, and you stamp it, and then you stamp your flowers in the midst of all that. But this time I didn't stamp them, I popped them up and did them that way. And then there's a piece of that ribbon. This is that Night of Navy, and then that's the inside of the card. And on the envelope, I have the little tiny flowers. All right, so that's what I did this week. Next week is going to be a bit of a departure from my typical style of cards. And so I'm struggling a little bit right now with trying to figure out exactly how I want to do them. I have the one I'm demonstrating, but then I've got to make some other ones. And I do depend an awful lot on Pinterest to help me kind of focus and get get my ideas and look and see what other people have done, and see if I can either copy theirs or if I have all the materials. And if I do copy it, I always let people know that I am doing that. And so yeah, I do like that texture too, Karen. That really makes a big difference. I really I like texture on my cards. But that cane backing is just really, really pretty. And then you get a sense of texture here and a little bit of texture here with the dots and whatnot in the background as well. So I tend to like texture and bling and this little bit of texture here with the ribbon and the flower decorations here. That really that appeals to me too. I really do like those. But anyway, so the next week's I'm working on it, and we'll be back on the 28th to have another show you another series of cards with another suite of products from the mini catalog. So if you have the opportunity to please take a moment and share my video, I would appreciate that. If you see anything on that I have demonstrated this evening, or you're interested in the final days of Sale-a-bration and you would like to purchase some items so that you can get some free items, go ahead and go to the website. There is an online store, and oh, by the way, Stampin' Up! Has just refreshed the clearance rack on our online store, which means there are a lot of items on there that'll be there only for a brief period of time because they'll sell out quickly, and many of those items are up to 60% off. So it's a big deal. So if you can, and you can go and save and purchase those items, and I think at the same time that means you're also eligible for the Sale-a-bration items. So if it sounds like a win-win situation. You're saving money and you're getting things for free. That's, in my book, that's a good deal. All right, so here are my very colorful cards here, and I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're a bit inspired by what you saw tonight, and that you will continue to come back each time and join me. And remember that this will be uploaded onto YouTube tomorrow sometime. So take care and God bless, and we will definitely be back next week, and I'm looking forward to showing you the new cards that I'm working on. So take care and do something for yourself that's creative. Bye bye.